In the last lectures, I discussed the addressing modes of MSC 430 X5X. So there are total 7 addressing modes are there. With the help of that addressing modes, you can categorize all the instructions available in MSC 430 with the different addressing modes. With the help of this type of addressing modes, you can able to assess the operands of instructions. If any instructions is executed, it means that how it is operated with the operand. So now the next topic I will discuss simple embedded systems on MSC 430 microcontroller. So now in this topic we can tell that how can you design an embedded system with the help of MSC 430. I will give you just I will discuss a simple examples with the programs, with the codes. Then you can able to write for any types of applications. If you will feel any problems, you can contact me. I will tell you, I will suggest you how to proceed. In this simple embedded systems, I will discuss the automatic control flashing light. In this, there are consider as there are street light. In every street light, one operator will be there. He will turn on and turn off the street lights. Correct? But this thing is not necessary. You have to design an embedded system like that. It will automatically switch on and automatically switch off at the time of at the given particular time. Like if you want to switch on at 6 p.m. evening, then it will switch on, and if you want to switch off on 5 a.m. morning, then you can switch off. Okay. So in this way you can do that. So for that purpose, I have given a task. A simple task is to flash an LED on and off. Let's do this with a period of about 1 hertz, which needs a delay of 0.5 seconds while the LED remains on or off. Now, if I am considering the 1 hertz frequency, with this frequency, if you are able to find the time, then you can get 1 second. If you are talking 1 second time, it means that for on and for off, so this is I'm considering the clocks. So this is the half, zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.5. So that's why I have written which needs a delay of 0.5 seconds while the LED remains on or off. Okay. So now how can you design this? How can you interface this? So in this way there are two types of design is possible, either in active high or and either in active low. So what do you understand by active high and active low? I have interfaced the LEDs in both of the cases so that this LED will turn on and turn off respectively. Now, in the case of active high, it means that if you are supplying 1 or supplying the VCC, then the LED will flow. This will come under the active high. So in this case, if you want to provide 0, 1, it means VCC, then this LED will glow. In the case of active low, what will happen? If you are providing 0, then it will glow. Okay. So if you have the 0 and this VCC is there, so if it's applied continuous, the current will flow like that. So that why it's called active high and active low. So now, in both the cases, I have used microcontroller MSC 430, and with MSC 430, you can use any pins, any ports to interface the particular LED. If you are using the particular LED, interfacing the particular LED, then what will happen? So whenever you are going to connect LED, before that you are going to put a resistor. So this resistor is limiting the current source. Otherwise, if you are not using the resistors, it might be this LED will damage. For avoiding that type of situations, you are going to use the resistors. So this is the connection. How can you connect it? Now for connections, there are several ports are available, several pins are available. That pins use as a either input as a output. So if you are going to configure that, this will be perhaps as the input or it will be perhaps as the output. So this is the user choice. Okay. So whatever the pins are there, pins are available for the input also, and the same pin is available for the output also. So at the same time, you have to configure this. Either you want this pin as an output or this pin as an input. Okay. So there are several pins are available. You can connect, you can interface any pin, and whatever pins you have interfaced, that pins will be used in the programs. So let's see how can you describe, how can you able to write the programs. So for writing the programs, you need first of all, we are going to write the programs for MSc 430 microcontroller. So this is very familiar with the C and C++ language. This is the program side. If you want to write programs, you have to write in C or the C++. Now, the next thing is you have to use a software. That software is called CCS, Code Composer Studio. With the help of this software, you can able to write the program, and also you can dump the code on the particular microcontroller, and you can visualize the output. So these things are available. Now, all of you know that C programs, correct? All of you familiar with the C programs. But when I'm writing the C programs in this particular device, that is called embedded C. It's not a general C, it's called embedded C. So in embedded C, there is a particular device where I'm going to write the programs. Okay, so this program will not work for the another microcontroller. Remember that. You see, if you have written the program for MSc 430, it will work only for MSc 430. If you are going to write the program for 8051, it will work only for 8051. Why? Since every microcontroller is having different property, having different pins, having different pin selections. Okay, so these things will happen. So you have to take care of that. So what is the difference between general C and embedded C? So general C, you have written the programs. There is no need to do anything. You can provide the input. There you can get the output. But in the embedded C, you have to include the header file of this particular device. So I have included here MSc 430 X5XX. This is the header file of the MSc 435. I have included that. So what is the meaning of you are including this? So I have included the library of MSc 430. You can also tell like that. Library means whatever pins are there, what type of registers it will support. So all these registers, all these pins will be defined, terminology will be defined by these header files. So you have to use these header files. Now, if we are talking about the next thing is first you have to include the header files. Then the second thing is for which port you want to interface the LED. Since I am flashing the LED, so you have to connect this LED. So I am defining that particular bit. Define LED1 bit 3 and define LED2 bit 4. So what is the meaning of bit 3 and bit 4? So bit 3 represents the point 0.3 in case of port 0. If we are talking about port 1, then it represents P1.3. That is called port 1. If we are using 2.3, it means that it is port 2. Okay. So in this way you can write. Either you can write this bit 3. So if you have written bit 3 and bit 4, it means that in the last you can mention the port only. Otherwise, if you are mentioning here in the P0.3, P0.3 is port 0 bit 3, then this program is fixed for port 1. So now in the latter state, I will fix the port from which port you want to communicate the LED. Okay. So, and also we are defining the delay. So delay is 500 milliseconds. Since I have written the program for 0.5 seconds. So if you are using 0.5 seconds, then you can convert in a milliseconds, you can get 500. So whenever I am writing delay loops numbers, this number shows in the milliseconds after delay. So that's why I converted this 0.5 seconds into milliseconds. Now come to the next part. So this is for the initialization or including the header file. With the help of this above criteria, you are going to define the bit from which port you are going to connect, what is the delay is providing, and which you have included the header file or not. Okay. Now this is the main programs. So for main programs, I have used one variable that is called loop CTR. Loop CTR is a variable and also it is an integer. Okay. So for variable, I am defining this is a volatile unsigned. Okay. It means that if you are using the volatile, means if it is turned off, then again we will start this system. It will start from the initial. You have to understand like that. Now, after that, what I will do, so why I use loop CTR? So this 500. So first we will start from 1. Again, you will increase 1, 1 plus 1, 2. Then again 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. Like that. You will reach it to the 500. Then when it will reach to the 500, then you can stop that. Means stop that means turn on. Let us consider first is it is turn on, then the second option is it is turn off. After when it will reach 500, it will again turn off. Again it will reach 500, then again it will turn off. So turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off will be continuously happening. And also now see that I already explained the MSP 430 is also having a batch timer. So what is the batch timer? So batch timer to take care of the any software failure. But also, if you want to modify the programs in the case of MSP 430, you need to stop the batch timer. Same like if your dog is standing in front of gate, the other person will not allow it inside the house. Same way, if this buzzer timer is active, you can't able to finish the programs, or you can't able to write the programs, or cannot able to modify the programs. Same way, you can see in the ATM. If you know the programs, you able to modify the programs in the ATM? Not possible. So for that purpose, password is required. Okay. So those having password who is able to access the programs like that in the case of MSA 430, bathtub timer is there. So first you have to stop the bathtub timer. If you are not able to stop, then you can't able to modify the programs. So how can you stop the bathtub timer? First we do that is called WDTCTL equal to WDTPW WDT rule. Whenever you are writing any types of program, so this line is mandatory for us. So this is the mandatory line. It means that without stopping the watchdog timer, you can't able to do anything. So now, so the WDT CTL means watch stop timer control. With the help of this resistance, you can able to control the watch stop timers. Here I am controlling the watch stop timers. I am switch stopping the watch stop timers. The next is WDTPW, that is called watch stop timer password. So this password is fixed, and if the password what you enter, it will match it to this password, then you can able to stop the watch stop timers. Otherwise, it's not possible to stop. And next is watch stop timer hold. Okay, so with the help of these lines, you can able to stop the watch stop timer. Now we have connected the bit 3 and bit 4. LED is connected with bit 3 and bit 4. Now with the help of same P2 out inverse of LED1, it means that when you are talking about the P2 out, means I have interfaced the LED with P2.3 and P2.4. Since I am talking bit 3 and bit 4, so bit 3 corresponds to P2.3 and bit 4 corresponds to bit to P2.4. Okay. So in that case, the LED1, the preloaded LED1 on and LED2 on. In a starting condition, we have considered that the first LED1 is on, then LED1 is off. Now, if LED1 is on, then you have to switch off the LED. So if LED is on, it means that you have to direct that port to P2 direct DIR. It means that P2 direction. This direction will be that this is an output pins. So LED1 or LED2. So this is used for the output pins. Now what we will do, with the help of loop control, I have defined already loop CTR equal to 0. So loop CTR less than delay loops. I have written the value delay loops equal to 500. So it will start from 0 and again plus plus loop CTR. It means first is 0, then it will increment 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. And whenever it will be incremented, this value is compared with this delay loops. Whenever this value is equal, then the result will be 0, and then the status register will indicate that 0 flag is set. When this 0 flag is set, it means that you have to toggle the LED. This is P2 out. This symbol is used for toggle. LED1 or LED. So this is a toggle LED. So with the help of that, you can toggle. Means if LED1 is glowing, LED2 is switched off. At that time, after 500 milliseconds, the LED is switched off and LED2 is switched off. Like that, these things will happen. So in this way, you can able to write the programs for any application in case of MSC 430. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask.